On your radio, online and on the ABC Listen app. This is the Rural Report with Megan Hughes on ABC Radio Queensland.
Mine waste, just like your rubbish, is mostly disposed of and never to be used again. But what if I told you that there's a mine development company that is actually trying to use this waste? So they have signed a Memorandum of Understanding with the Mount Isa Council yesterday to turn this mine waste into sulfuric acid, which is actually facing a looming shortage. The company is called Cobalt Blue, and their project acquisition manager, Dr Helen Degeling, tells Abby Holter mine waste, also known as tailings, still has so much potential.
Now, a lot of these tailings dams are still full of some very valuable metals, but also a lot of what we call sulfide minerals, which, if they're exposed to air and water, can break down to form sulfuric acid. A lot of the copper oxide deposits in the region require sulfuric acid for their heap leaching. The vanadium industry around Julia Creek, a lot of the processing solutions that they've identified also require sulfuric acid. So it's essentially a critical enabler for a lot of big-scale industrial processes that are big employers in the region and contribute a lot economically, but without the sulfuric acid, they can't do what they need to do. So in itself, we hear a lot of talk about critical minerals and that kind of thing. Sulfuric acid is not a critical mineral or critical substance, but it is really a critical enabler in northwest Queensland. The pyrite tailings material could come from a number of different sources. Northwest Queensland has a rich endowment in sulfide-rich waste. So part of the scoping study will be to determine what the actual source is. And then because different companies, different entities actually own those different tailings dams, there will be different discussions with each of those around a potential commercial agreement, or how that will work in practice. Will they be a collaborator? Will they just sell the material to us? Is it a joint venture structure? Is it a royalty thing?
Are you receiving any state or federal government funding?
Not at this stage, but with the information that we're going to pull together with the help of Mount Isa City Council, we hope to then be able to present a strong case to both the state and federal governments to say this is what's required to solve this problem. It's going to cost X amount, and essentially ask them to come on board with supporting the project.
How much infrastructure do you need to be able to make this project viable?
The goal for a full-scale operation would involve construction of a new processing plant, potentially additional infrastructure around transporting, storing sulfuric acid safely and securely.
Do you expect any roadblocks to come up?
One of the key barriers to this style of operation that I've identified is that the modern Mining and Environmental Act, as applied to the mining industry, are very much built around a traditional, it's in the ground, dig it up kind of mining operation, where they haven't kept up with this more modern desire by industry to go back to mine waste and be more efficient with what we've already dug up rather than digging up new material, getting value out of stuff that might have been mined 50 years ago when processing technology and extraction wasn't as good as it is now. We're aiming for a better environmental outcome than would have previously been possible. But the way the Environmental Protection Act is set up, it's very difficult to then undertake that remining operation to achieve that better environmental outcome.
That's Cobalt Blue, Dr Helen Degeling speaking to Abby Holter.